Hello and welcome to Helicopter Train Videos. In this short video, we're going to talk about hovering standards required for the FAA private and commercial check rides. This is a short clip from episode 2 of the Helicopter Training Podcast, How to Hover a Helicopter. And you can find that full episode in the description or on our YouTube channel's podcast tab. The current FAA private pilot and commercial pilot ACS or Airman certification standard both require hovering tasks, but the level of precision or control required is obviously slightly higher for the commercial certificate. We're going to ignore most of the knowledge items and focus on the actual hovering skills required for the assessment. But it's worth noting that while hovering, you've still got to be mindful of those risk management items like distractions and loss of situation awareness, like where's the other aircraft or vehicles or persons, and the hazardous effects of your downwash, as well as main rotor and tail rotor clearance and tail strike hazards. I'm kind of surprised there's no mention of loss of tail rotor effectiveness or LTE in the risk management section of those ACS tasks. Hey, and certainly speak up to the evaluator if you think that there's an LTE risk and you have some concern and you may need to modify the heading of the aircraft to avoid that and demonstrate good risk management or aeronautical decision making or ADM. As for the assessment of aircraft control in a hover, the key numbers are these. So first of all, you have to be able to hover along a straight line within 4 feet of the line, or 2 feet for commercial. You have to be able to maintain a hover altitude within half of the recommended hover height. So that would depend on the helicopter, but for a light training helicopter, we're really talking about somewhere between 2 to 6 feet. You also need to demonstrate hover taxiing in all directions, forwards, sideways and backwards, and be able to perform a 360-degree hover turn both left and right, whilst maintaining a constant rate of turn and staying within 4 feet of the pivot point, or 2 feet for commercial, and being able to stop within 10 degrees of a specified heading. But to be honest, you're going to do a lot of this just moving the helicopter from pickup point to takeoff point, and most people have this skill well in hand before they get to the check ride. I don't think I've ever heard of an applicant failing a check ride for the hovering tasks. So next, let's talk about some training exercises and drills to help get you up to those standards. This clip was just a small piece of what we cover in episode 2 of the Helicopter Training Podcast, which was a deep dive on how to hover a helicopter. In the full episode, we walk through a few things like the controls in a hover, what each input does and how. Hover aerodynamics, we cover some of the weird interrelated forces at play to help you understand why hovering is so difficult. We're also going to look at the FAA ACS or Airman certification standards. That's the check ride requirements that we'll be looking at specifically for hovering. We'll also go into training exercises and drills to help you get to those standards and beyond, as well as tips for both students and instructors. So you can find the full episode right here on this YouTube channel under the podcast tab, or you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast player is. Just search for Helicopter Training Podcast. And don't forget, you can start learning right now on the Helicopter Training Videos YouTube channel with video playlists covering things like ground school subjects, flight maneuvers, as well as following along with a student on every training flight from day 1 all the way through to check ride. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to get all the latest videos and help support this channel. And then finally, for more information, including articles and quizzes and resources, and how to support this volunteer project, check out our website, helicoptertrainingvideos.com. Thanks for watching, fly safe.